Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Touch the sky with glory. This is the motto of Indian Air Force, and our guest today, a squadron leader who has served the Indian Air Force for 11 years. So I would like to speak a bit about the motto and why it was chosen in the first place. The motto, touch the sky with glory, has been taken from the 11th chapter of Gita, the discourse given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra during the great war of Mahabharata. The Lord is showing his supreme divine form to Arjuna, and the great form of the Lord is reaching the sky with glory, evoking fear and loss of self control in the minds of Arjuna. The Indian Air Force similarly aims to overwhelm the adversaries with application of aerospace power in the defense of the nation. Hello and welcome. I am Priyansh, the host, and the prominent figure that you see on the left side of me is none other than Dipti Kala, squadron leader and an ex-Indian Air Force Deputy Director for 11 years and holds many awards to her name, which we will talk about later in this show. So finally, ma'am, after so many reschedulings, I have my favorite guest on this show. Thank you so much for the time and for being here. It really matters a lot to me.
Thank you so much, Priyansh. You've used very kind words for me. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be there with you on your show.
Yeah, I hope you're doing fine and your 2 years little daughter is also doing fine. I think she will be asleep.
Yes, everybody is fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And yeah, so a special mention, Deepthi ma'am has a Bachelor's of Engineering in Computer Science and a Master in Aeronautics Engineering. So I would like to ask you, like, what attracted you towards Indian Air Force and clearing SSB, and what was this your dream or some family expectation, or what was it? There are some audio issues, ma'am.
So, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes, Priyansh, as I was talking, that sometimes it is not that you choose your profession, the profession chooses you. So that is the case with me when I was pretty young. I think around, I was in the sixth class only,
Mhm.
when I fell in love with the uniform. And that was also very abruptly.
Mhm.
A few of my cousins had come to my place and they wanted to click the photograph of being in uniform of my father's uniform, who was in the army. And that is the time when they asked me also to wear the same uniform and get myself clicked.
Mhm.
I said, no, I will not wear somebody else's uniform. I will wear one of my own. And that is the time I fell in love with this dream. And this was the only thing which was there in my mind. There was nothing else. I never gave myself any other options. So the journey towards academics, towards choosing your subjects also was only related to that which field in the defense I want to join. That is how I stumbled upon doing computer science engineering also, because my father being in the signals,
Mhm.
I also wanted to join the same branch, that is the signals corps, wherein the chances of you going to the same branch goes very
Mhm.
high when you do computer science engineering.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I did. Now, of course, while you go into the Air Force, you become
Mhm.
an aeronautical engineer when you talk about being a technical officer. And while being in the Air Force Technical College, that is AFTC, situated at Bangalore,
Right.
then you get an opportunity to do also the post graduation. And while being in Air Force, we do it for as aeronautical engineering.
Right, right. So for people watching, if you have interest in joining the Air Force, please reach out to ma'am. She'll be more than happy to guide you. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, I mean, even currently taking batches for SSB also.
Mhm. And especially if you are a girl student, then please definitely go out. India needs
Yes.
more female soldiers and leaders to lead the army and the nation as well. So
Yes.
then after 1 year, you left IAF to pursue your own dreams. So if you could talk about that, like was IAF like I'm done with IAF, I have served my nation. Now it's time for me to go for a higher purpose. So what was that?
So both aspects are there, Priyansh. Talking frankly about all this, see, during my time, In fact, even now, permanent commission to women officers, unfortunately, is not for all,
Oh.
right? Though there have been news, the court has given orders to give us permanent commission. However, that also is not as far as the male officers. Like all of them are given with permanent commission. For us, the from the entry level, it is not there. First thing, that is the first problem in the rulings, right? The second is that even after you serve either for 10 years or 14 years, then you have to undergo a board system wherein they select, you are given with 3 years. In those 3 years, the ruling is that only 10% of the entire batch will get selected. And in that selection procedure, not only your own course, okay, a course prior to me and a course junior to me, all of them would be considered equally. And out of those many, then only 10% would get selected. Right. So, of course, it is not about that you have doubt on yourself, that how much marks in the annual report I've got, or how much I have been able to do justice to my job. Somewhere it puts a question, if you don't get selected in that board.
Yeah.
So, though I had a lot of awards from the Air Force and everything, and I didn't want to take that chance. Why? Because see, you are very young. We enter the Air Force when we are just 21. So when you're leaving, you're only 31, right? So it's a very young age. In fact, in civil world, people start their career at this age.
Yeah.
Right. So now another thing which was very much calling me again and again while I was in the forge was I started teaching my men. Whenever I would go for a course, I would learn about new systems, and I would come back and teach the juniors and the men around me about that system. I would always tell them, "Kaam main kar lungi, tum pad lo." Right? So that was a time when I realized I have a flair for coaching. Why? Because in fact, in the personal front, I was teaching the underprivileged since my class 10. So that was, I think, a big calling for me. And before leaving itself, I had decided that if I go out, I'll become a coach only.
So yeah, Dipti ma'ams love teaching kids and juniors. So ma'am, any special favorite quote of you that you remember while being in the Indian Air Force, or the general lingo that people use there? Well, we are not aware of that.
Yeah. So, I was very famous for one quote, that is work hard, party harder. So, people would call me synonym this sentence with me. And I just wanted, one thing, that is come what may, just be on the field and never give up. That was one thing. And get results. That is ultimate thing. There's no point if you're working hard and not getting results.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Actions and results are what matters in the end, and no one is going to see the hard work that you put in. You may get failed, but results are ultimate. So yeah, one thing, there is a salutation difference between the Indian Air Force, the Navy, and the Army. So the Army does something like this. Navy does a bit 45 down, and Air Force a 45-degree up to the ground.
Yeah, between the Army and the Navy.
So like, was this from the very start of the Indian Navy, in Indian Army, or it was an addition? And
no,
any
it was an
significance to it?
addition. It was not from the start. So initially, all the forces did this. They would show the entire palm. But then later on, because the Navy is under the sea, basically, so that is why it became like a total parallel to the ground. And of course, Air Force is between the Thal Sena and the Nau Sena.
Yeah.
So we obliged to a 45-degree angle. So this finger of yours has to touch the corner of the eye. This in the center finger, it will touch the eyebrow. So this is how you get to the 45-degree angle. Yes, absolutely correct.
Please, ma'am, once more. I will take a screenshot, and
yeah.
it will be in the intro as well. Yeah, done.
Yeah, thank you.
People should know about these things if they live in India, and these are some basic etiquettes, I feel. So that's why I made you do that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that was all from the Indian Air Force side of questions. So now the TEDx side of things. So just so that people are aware, Deepti ma'am is a two-time TEDx speaker. One was at TEDx VSSUT and other was at TEDx MSCW. So you might not get the videos on YouTube right now because it takes 3 to 4 months to get it. So for people who are waiting, please wait a little longer. TEDx is a prestigious platform. So how was your overall experience interacting with other speakers and the college kids and the students that you found there and the management things?
So, Priyansh, because TEDx VSSUT was my first one,
Mhm.
so the experience was out of the world. The kind of hospitality that has been shown by the students,
Yeah.
that was so amazing. In fact, especially that place, the guest house which was given to me, and
Mhm.
everything, Soumya coming and picking up, then Shivangi. I remember, these girls, they were so amazing. And not to forget mentioning Shakti, especially, your senior,
Yeah.
who's been so good and who's been so helpful also, not only to me, to all of you, who's been a guiding mentor. So all of you, and one thing which I realized was
Mhm.
the attitude of all of you at VSSUT is so different from the people in the northern area or maybe in the metro cities.
Mhm.
The kind of humbleness, the politeness, the kind of respect you people showed, I don't think we get it, elsewhere. So that was unmatchable, and that is one learning, or you can say one, cherished memory which I took from VSSUT. So that was amazing. And when talking about the speakers, of
Mhm.
course, it is so overwhelming. Knowing Babar Ali, knowing Satyarupa, knowing Lupa.
Mhm.
So all these were so amazing people who are doing so good in their own fields.
Right.
And Ayushman, in the tourism department of Odisha. So it was great associating with all of them. So great.
But your style of dressing was a bit different than all of them that make you unique and stand out. And this was what I noticed there.
Yeah, Priyan, so that also has a story.
Mhm.
See, you know, I'm a certified image consultant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I coach people on styling and everything. But then also while being in military, if there is a group of 50 people and there's only one person who's from the military, you can
Mhm.
anytime make out that this person has got something in him or her,
Right.
right? So those in the first thing which we are taught while in the academy is to be at the right time, the right place, and the right rigs.
Right.
So rigs, we call it as the dress in
Mhm.
academy, right? The PT rigs, the uniform, the main uniform which we wear, the white rigs, the sports rigs. So there I learned, how and what should you be wearing at what occasion, and how it counts, or how it separates you from a group.
Mhm.
And I'm also an ex Mrs. India, so the styling part also comes into me from there. And that is how, I had planned both the dresses for gala
Mhm.
dinner and for the talk, specifically keeping in mind what message I want to convey through
Mhm.
those dresses and for what occasions are they. So I got them custom made for myself.
Right. And yeah, those messages that you wanted to convey, I think that got conveyed in the most meaningful and strong manner.
Yeah, now I can understand. Thank you so much, Priyansh, for affirming that.
Yeah. Okay. On TEDx event, you mentioned in one of your posts that one of the students asked you, how do you deal with failure? To which you replied that failure is a term or the name given to a situation wherein you could not achieve what you wanted to achieve. So, how do you come up with such a definition? It's so simple yet so meaningful.
So, Priyansh, when this all knowledge you gain through experience, right? Had you asked me this question maybe 13 years back, I wouldn't
Mhm.
have been able to answer, right? So, first thing is that, and having experienced failures in life, when I realized that how have I been able to achieve so many things at every stage in my life.
Mhm.
So, people have success in one particular field.
Yeah.
But when I talk about myself, sometimes I feel that should I have gone only for one field, or, getting success all around is also good. But then this is what, I align to in my life, that if I'm good at sports, I wanted to be the best all-rounder in sports. When I'm good at studies, I'll stand in first in the order of merit for the Air Force exams.
Mhm.
So I decided and I did it. So when I realized that what is failure, people, this a failure is a very common term, and today's generation is facing so many problems just because of this word.
Yeah.
So when I gave a deep thought to it, that how can I tell people in the most simplest way that what is failure? So I
Mhm.
think that is the something which is a very layman thing, that, just like Priyansh, had we not named Priyansh, we would not know. We can only recognize you through your face.
Mhm.
So a situation wherein you are not able to do what you are supposed to do, or you had, you wanted to do something that you could not do, that is just a failure. There's a name which we have given to that.
Yeah.
And it is supposed to happen when we are children. We want to learn a bicycle. Okay, when we grow up, we want to learn driving. So every time it
Mhm.
happens, sometime you will fall from the bicycle. Sometimes you'll make small mistakes, having little incidents with your car, isn't it? But do we ever stop?
No, never.
Don't. But with the life, with our own dreams, we do stop.
Some people
It
do.
shall not be done. But as we start growing, the
Mhm.
only problem is that we start listening, giving more importance to our peer groups, other society, that if you fail, people will talk about this. People will tell, oh, she's failed here, she's failed there. People had so many objections, me
Mhm.
leaving the Air Force also. My family members, everybody likes to, have their daughter in the most respected job. That is, one of the class A. There are only two class A jobs in the entire country, and that is, one is IS and one is being in the forge, right? So you don't have to listen to everybody, you just have to listen to yourself. What is it that you want from within? Okay, when you come back home, you should have a smile at your face. When you get up in the morning, instead of a tea, I sip my dream.
Yeah. This
Okay,
this is
so
that's the right
that is what,
attitude.
yeah, so that is what I want everybody who's listening to this to adhere to. Just look at yourself. What is it that you want? Forget about the society. Let it take years. Let it take two,
Mhm.
3, 4 years. Take mentoring, isn't it? Take guidance. Today, information is available just at the click. So open YouTube. If you don't have the money, just open YouTube. Listen to such podcasts. Listen to such videos. People who have already been through. Apply. Application is very important.
Right.
If you're listening, apply it. Only then would you get results.
Yeah, like no master is successful without a failure. They must have had a lot of failures. And you
Absolutely.
too might have, I'm guessing, had a lot of failures to reach this position that you are in right now. So
Yes.
don't get disheartened for anyone who's listening to failures. They will happen and they must happen for you
Yes.
to get successful ahead. There is no shortcut, of
Absolutely.
course.
Because they only give you experience.
Yeah.
You will not make the same mistake again. Maybe you will make another mistake, but then you are not going to make the same mistake. So
Right.
that is why it is just an experience.
Yeah, you mentioned that you are India's first certified dream coach, and the
Yes.
tagline is something like coaching ambitious individuals to achieve all goals without sacrificing time through my automatic self-discipline and positive intelligence coaching. So, well,
Yeah.
I could not find more information on that. So, would you like to speak about it, like how this program got started in the first place? After you mentioned that you love coaching people, so was that the reason?
Yeah. So Priyansh, in coaching field, we have to decide on something, different,
Mhm.
wherein which aligns with your thinking. So when I looked at my life, I found out that what is the problem which I have solved for myself. So that was that whenever I was set out to achieve a goal,
Mhm.
I achieved it. You know, in between there were failures, there were issues, there were struggles, but
Mhm.
then ultimately I had achieved. If I really tell you, I don't think there till date there has been anything which I've not been able to achieve, and I was set out for that. Okay, this has not been, there has not been. So then I realized that this is something which I can teach others also, that if you're set out for something, you can achieve it. But why self-discipline? Because self-discipline is the only thing which is going to help you. Why? Motivation will last only for 3-4 days till the time you're listening to that peppy song. Maybe you've heard a motivational talk, right? Well, then what is the crux? Because success is difficult. Nobody will tell you it in on your face that success is very difficult. People tell 100 things, but I tell it on face. Success is very difficult, and so are the steps to achieve that. So you have to self-discipline yourself. What is self-discipline? Doing something which you even don't, you do it despite of you not feeling to do it. Right. So today, if I set out to achieve a particular body state in terms of my physical fitness, and there could be times when I'm not feeling like, my mind will tell me again and again, no, Dipti, it's okay, you are fine, you're not that fat, it's okay, let's have cakes, let's have pastries and everything. But this is how you have to tell your mind, no, this is doing no good to me. I better go out and do it. So I will hit the gym. Right. And there are, of course, then ways wherein how to build upon your habits. There are many tactics which I teach people, that how to get self-discipline. Right?
You talked about success, success may be different in different perspectives. If you think you are successful, others might not consider you successful. Or if you're not successful, others might consider you successful. So
absolutely. When you talk about my story also, there are people who may think that, being in, getting selected in the Air Force, what big? There are many officers, other officers also, right? When you think about doing the Republic Day parade, what is big about it? People are doing it. Okay, what is big in Mrs. India? Many ladies are doing it. Then what is big in becoming a dream coach? Many coaches are there in the world, isn't it? But for me, those were my successes. I never compared it what society thinks of, or success in terms of money, becoming a billionaire or millionaire. Right.
We'll have a great life and a peace of mind if we just do not care about what society speaks of us.
Yes.
That's what I believe.
Yes, absolutely correct.
Yeah. So that was all about the coaching program. The links will be in the description for those who want to check it out. And now I would like to mention a few things, and some of which you already mentioned, and a short question after that. So starting. You are former Miss India Earth winner, awarded with Sri Shakti Samman 2020 by IUEF, that stands for International United Educationalist Fraternity, a proud participant of India's first all-women contingent for the Republic Day Parade. You are India's youngest defense expert with national channels, and I've seen a few videos of you talking on television. And you were featured in Win TV's show, Women in Command, and many more such things. So the question is, this is not a common individual's life. So how do you deal with this celebrity-like figure of yours, and being so down to earth still? You could have simply ignored my invitation to this podcast, but you decided to come here. So how do you manage?
So Priyansh, one thing is, see, we all have started at some place, isn't it? So we have to look from that perspective first, that suppose tomorrow I become a CEO of a company, right? And then I start saying no to freshers, that no, I will not take except freshers. So that'll be wrong on my part, because someday I also started. Right, first thing. Second thing is, I don't want Priyansh to think that his podcast or his series is somewhere less than anybody else's. You are way ahead than 99% of the people who are not taking action only. Yeah, because podcast is the new thing, and in future it is going to take over YouTube and all these things, because nobody will have time to watch. Everybody will be in the listening mode.
Yeah.
right? So you've already started this journey. People are sitting and wasting time also, but you are doing those efforts. You are already in the 1% club,
Thank you,
right?
ma'am.
Yeah. And the third thing, of course, it is always good to be associated with people like you, who are starting on their journey and contribute whatever little possible from our side towards the good of the society.
Yeah, and how do you deal with the celebrity like figure that you have? I guess many people might be calling you for interviews or come to and feature us on the show, something like that.
So, Priyansh, I just look at the timings and all that, if it is suitable and if it fits in my calendar. So, of course, I try and attend to all the callings. I try and attend. It may be, like we could, I apologize for that our meeting got delayed so much.
That's fine, ma'am.
But I always would associate with people. Like I would never say no permanently.
Sure. And yeah, at the time when majority of India were sitting peacefully at homes, you were handling one of the most difficult situations in Jammu and Kashmir floods and Nepal earthquakes. That must have been very hard for you and the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and fulfilling at the same moment that you worked for a company and saved a couple of lives or more. So would you like to share about some insights, like when was that period?
Yeah, so it was in the year, I think 2015. I think 14. Yeah, it was 14 September. And I remember, it was raining very heavy in those days. And suddenly in the morning, I got a call that I need to set up the communication as I said, I'm from the signals branch.
Yeah.
So I was the only trained officer in that particular system that was aerial communication. So because of the floods, all the landline communication was disrupted in the entire valley and of course in the plains of Jammu. Okay, the river there, they all were flooded. So I got a call and I simply just dressed up and went to the unit running on that time I used to ride a scooty, and at the speed of 80 I rode my scooty to the unit. It was 8 kilometers away from my residence, and I was just keeping my fingers crossed that at this such an important time the system shall work, because aerial communication, it is not connected with any wires or anything.
Yeah.
It shall just work. The system shall be in place. So luckily things fell in place. We spoke to the nearest units, which was in Dalhousie, and the aerial communication in Srinagar. So that is how we could set up the communication. And after that, of course, this was not it. We were carrying out 24 hours operation, 24 into 7, to rescue people from the valley. And it was more than anything, it was more emotional. See, there you see how diversity plays a role.
Yeah.
In corporate sector, implementing diversity is a major thing. It's a major issue. People are not able to follow, or people are not able to unite people towards, the cultural difference which we have in our country. But floods was the time when I realized the power of unity. We had to stop the trucks outside the station, which were coming from the gurudwaras carrying food for the people of Srinagar, right? So the religion things, like Sikhs were sending food for the Muslims, right? Muslims being rescued by people like us who are of different religion.
Yeah.
Some would be Muslim, some would be Hindu, somebody, but everybody who was coming down from the helicopters and the ILs, they all had only one thing to say: Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. They had folded their hand and they were doing this. So they were only thinking about that they have been saved now. So that time, nothing matters. Above life, nothing matters. So this is the, thank God that you asked this question. I would really want to convey this message to all, to the generation who's going to come. Let us not have cultural differences at all. So everybody has learned their way because they are born and brought up in a particular situation, right? Somebody is born in Bengal, somebody is born in the South, somebody is a Punjabi. It's okay. Let us be proud of our own things also, and let us be proud of being the part of the most cultured, very cultured country like India.
Yeah, across the world.
Let us appreciate each other. Even if I don't, suppose if I don't like dosa, I don't need to say no that I don't like dosa.
Yeah.
Sometimes, for the happiness of my friend, I will go and have dosa. Am I going to kill myself? No. It is just the psyche which we have. It is just the thinking which we have. So let us not only get literate, let us get educated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When time comes of like the adversity times, there is no religion. I have seen Muslims and Hindus work together, serving water in this hot summer. Even in this place, the place I live, that's Jharsuguda, Odisha. I've seen my Muslim brothers work for us, work with us in helping and carry out the religious rallies. We support them, they support us. It's all
Yes.
the thing I feel is the main culprit is somehow the media and how they direct us, like the ongoing debates which go on television all day long. So I think that should be stopped. I guess I'm not allowed to say that, or I do not have the right to say that this is my opinion. Just they should be a little conservative of how they give the news to our country.
So to that, Priyansh, I would like to add a little line because I don't want the audience to, be in ambiguity regarding this. So see, everybody is doing a business,
Right.
right? Everybody is there to earn their own bread,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is something which we cannot stop, right? And they are not forcing anything to us.
Yeah.
So it is your choice whether you want to listen to that debate, or maybe you can just open another channel, or maybe you can watch a movie instead, right? Or it is again your choice that you still want to listen to that debate and make no biased conclusion out of it,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? So choice in life will always be with us.
Yeah.
We shall take a responsibility of,
That's not,
isn't it? So that is how you become the right citizen of the country. Not only the right citizen, but you become self-satisfied in terms of that you are doing right as per your own thinking and your own will.
right.
Nobody is forcing you to do anything.
Yeah. It is the food that we put in our minds that shape our knowledge and behavior, and so we
Yes.
should be considerate of what we allow ourselves to
Yes.
hear and process the informations. Now
Absolutely.
going to abroad, like you from India, you are a defense expert, so what are your views on the current ongoing Ukraine Russia war, if you would like to talk about that? So because
Yeah,
I had this question in
yeah.
mind, I should ask you.
Yeah, so in TVs, I've been talking about this only.
Mhm.
We now every 5 6 days I'm going there. So I think see, countries are being run by the presidents or the prime ministers. People sitting up there,
Yeah.
right? It is of course evident that everybody realizes that there are many people who do not have food on their plate,
Mhm.
right? Yet, just for the sake of power, people are fighting. And that power is of no use if we are not able to take care of humanity.
Mhm.
This is what I feel. So, the invasion could have been stopped very early. The invasion could have been stopped in between also. But then there are people who are not ready to, indulge themselves into such positions. And I don't know where, one day everybody would die. The
Yeah.
president, be it the president or the prime minister, the land would remain where it is currently, isn't it? And today is not the world wherein people would, like for India, it happened when 200 years back, we were ruled by the Britishers.
Mhm.
So the chances of that being done are very minimal these days. Even at this stage, Russia has not been able to capture, Ukraine fully. In the sense, whatever the eastern region which they are trying to occupy, from there also they are being sent back. Right. So if that is not happening unnecessarily, we have put food crisis, we have put energy crisis, we have put so many problems in the economy of the world that the poor is going more poorer.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So what are we getting out of it? Nothing.
Nothing. The exact reason why Russia did that is still might not be known to all people. I did my part of research on why the war actually started based on some trusted sources. I follow a news channel called World is One Beyond. It's an English channel of Indian origin. So the limited knowledge that I got from that was the NATO expanding its territories towards the Soviet Union area was the main reason why Russia was provoked to attack Ukraine and stop the invasion of those things. So I think people should be more aware, and
Yeah, so
war is
because
not
if
the
these
answer.
countries, if the NATO countries and everybody, if in the vicinity of USSR, not USSR now, if in the vicinity of Russia, if they all unite, so one day, just like if they are provoked, they all will attack Russia and will make it a country they can break it more. Like
Yeah,
earlier, it was USSR, now it has already reduced to Russia.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So that was the threat which he perceived that it could be the reason, but I don't know. It is heading nowhere currently. So let's see what happens. I perceive that this war is going to go a little more. It could be that it is going till the last of. We say Happy New Year with the Ukraine-Russia war only.
Our prayers are with the Ukrainian families and the citizens which died and those who are currently
Yes.
trying to flood.
Yes.
War is never an
Unnecessarily.
option.
Yes. People are becoming orphans,
Yeah.
losing their families.
I hope this war stops via negotiation. That's the only way I think this should stop, and both the
Yes.
sides should be considerate and not push their agendas to the table that accept these conditions, then we will solve these challenges. Both should kind of help each other, listen to each other, and solve this issue. So that was our take on Ukraine problems. You heard Dipti Kala ma'am in his take. So is there something else that I should have asked you that you believe in and wanted to speak on this show? Or is that was all you had? Any advice?
Yeah, Priyansh. I will always have a advice, being a coach and a trainer. And so first thing is that I really want everybody to aspire for something from a very young age. Start learning from a very young age. The learning which I've got after the forge, they are very huge. Right? Had I known these things earlier, I would have done much better in my life till date. Right? So I would urge all the listeners that as you turn, maybe 9 or 10, parents shall guide their children to listen to such podcasts, read books like Think and Grow Rich. You
Yeah.
start with self-help books, so you get a very greater perspective towards life. And these days we are lucky, so lucky that our profession is just not limited to being a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer. Right? If you are being an engineer also, if you are, we have so many comedians, stand-up comedians who are engineers, but they are doing so good in stand-up comedies, right? So find out your passion also. What is it that you want to do, and then build up a skill set. See, only passion is not going to fill into your pockets. So you have to build upon the skill set also. So if you will understand these points very, very well early in life, you can start investing on yourself, learn that skill set, and start on your things at a very early age instead of settling down things after age of 35, 40. These days, this is the scenario which is going on. People are realizing their passions. People are realizing that they're not liking the 9 to 5 things. So at the age of 30, 35, when they've given at least 10 to 15 years in the corporate career, right? So I don't want the younger age to feel that thing. Though 9 to 5 is no bad, right? If you're finding it, that is, if you find it that this is your calling, doing a 9 to 5 is a comfortable thing for you, you can always go for it, right? But then I want you to do a job also in which you're happy, which is aligning with your own values, right? Which is giving you your happiness. At the end of the day, you should not be cribbing about it, right? So this is the advice which I really want to give to everybody.
There should be uniqueness in you that differentiates you from the work that you do. You might be doing a 9 to 5, but people should know that this is someone, or he is someone, or she is someone. So yeah, one most important learning that the Indian Air Force taught you.
Yeah, so I would say
Most
courage.
important, courage.
Courage.
think I think modern girls of this country are a bit courageous, which was not the case before. We have seen many instances of that in the news and in the social media. So I think they are also learning courage now and are more
Yes.
independent.
So
The ratio
courage is
of
the one of the most important things. You compare it in anything, be it stock market, be it changing your own career, be it saying no sometimes in life. For anything, courage is foundation. So after having a vision, this is the second most quality which somebody should have.
yeah, that was indeed great insight. And one last question, if I could ask. You were in Indian Air Force, the discipline is huge there. Like it's not for everybody. Everyone cannot withstand that high discipline. And you are a mother also and a coach also. So at what time do you wake up? How your morning starts with? Um,
So my first, the moment I get up, my morning starts with the gratitude. I look at the sky and I always, say gratitude to the Almighty. And I promise him that I will believe in his plans, right? So this is how I start. And then my younger one, because I've done a lot of hard work when I had conceived her. So I think she's come out with those qualities. So she gets up early with me only, sometimes at 5, 6. So she's up the moment I am up. So I have a look at her beautiful face and smile. And I also teach her to, though she's just 9 months, still I teach her how to be grateful. And after that, of course, I plan my day, that what is it that today shall be done, the most priority job which I need to do today. And after, getting ready, having breakfast, immediately I just start doing those tasks.
right. So I wish your little daughter reaches great heights and successful beyond your imagination and make you and her father very proud of it. And
Yeah,
okay,
thank you so much.
if someone wants to reach out to you, so what will be the best medium to do so? LinkedIn, email, or any other resource, any other medium?
Yeah, so I'm available and active on Insta, LinkedIn, email. All of these are pretty active. And hopefully by 25th of May, I shall be launching my website also.
Yeah,
That will be diptikala.com. So after 25th, if somebody is listening, they can go and check out the website also.
sure, ma'am. On 25th, I will just ping you. If everything is nice, then I will include that website in the description also. And yeah,
Sure, sure, sure.
sure. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much wraps this podcast. Any question you have for me, or last minute tips?
No, Priyansh, I just would
Right.
like to know that how did you get inspired to start the podcast journey?
The journey is not something I had envisioned. It was more kind of an accident. Like someone asked me, let's do a podcast because they had something to do with it. So I said, okay, yeah, come to my show. I'm planning to host a show. So we'll talk and it will be a great time. So after the first show, I felt like this is great. Like I should do more of these episodes. I get to know people, talk with them, great insights they share. And this is a place I can get to reach and meet with people from all over the world. Like this was the main reason I continued it and not stopped it in the first place. And I'm so happy that I continued so that I could meet people like you like Babar sir, he came 2 shows back. So I think I did a great choice back then, and that's how the story of this podcast started. And it will not end. I will continue to keep it, and might call you again after you reach great heights. And I think you will remember me for this. And
Yeah,
continue.
yeah, Priyansh, it's so nice to know this. And I would really tell you that do not stop it ever, because the
Yeah,
learning which you are getting here, you'll not get anywhere.
yeah, that's
And that too
absolutely.
live with you. And you're
Yeah,
networking also. So network is your net worth,
yeah. Network is
right?
net worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, do publish your quotes on your websites. I will include in this podcast as well.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so yeah, this pretty much wraps. This is the show where I talk to world-class executives, authors, directors, entrepreneurs, social workers, software engineers, and many more prominent personality about their personal challenges, their journeys, and how their career went about and shaped the lives of theirs and the lives of others for the better. That's all for today. I hope to see you the next time. Goodbye. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Thank you so much, Priyansh.